gorgeous ladies. Let's see who all are in the room. Hi, Healed Parent. Hello, Sharmila. iTunes, Renu Jacob, Akankita 2022, Sirisha, PK70 saying the experience at Love Bubble was so exceptional. Pooja, I'm so pleased to have been involved in such a remarkable event. Congratulations on the successful launch. Thank you so much. So kind of you. These words mean so much to me. Coach Vinita Kumari saying, Saubana Queen Mother Goddess. Hello. Rachita, what a fantastic 3 days we had with you in Chennai. I'm so glad that all of you are soaking in the energy of love. That's beautiful. Seema, to see you fresh and always full of energy and positive vibes attract. Ritu Jain saying, cutie. Vivek Vasanta saying, so happy to be a part of the Love Bubble. It was so amazing. Yes, and you know what? I'm so excited because one of the things I'm going to be doing is launching Love Bubble online now. I think Love Bubble offline was a fabulous event, but we could only have 300 of you because of the size of the room. I would so love to now offer it to everyone, and everyone who was at the Love Bubble, I'm going to definitely ask you to come back and repeat it, because I feel like the second time you'll hear it, and especially when you'll hear it online, sitting in the comfort of your home, you know, some of the concepts when you hear it for the second time go even deeper, hai na? Love you all. Yes. Hi Priya. Hi Pallavi. Hi Bindu. Uma. Flawless Femina. Nirali. Manisha. Nazia. So nice. My mind is still in Chennai, Pooja. Loved the energy of the 3 days. Thank you so much for every one of you that made the effort to make it. Nanal is saying, watched your exclusive one-to-one with Sids. It was so wonderful, Pooja. Oh, I'm so glad. For all of you who are like, when is the next live Love Bubble? No idea yet. For now, we are planning to go do it online for everyone who missed it, just so that we can reach more and more people. We wanted to see the effect of it offline, and I can tell you, as you can see by the comments, it was simply mind-blowing. And now we'll do one online, and then we'll decide whether we're going to continue it offline or whether we're going to continue it online, depending on which one we feel is a better service to all of you. Yay, Love Bubble online, my wish has been answered. Anybody here felt FOMO? All of these ladies are attending Love Bubble. I really want to go for it. Now don't worry. I will come to you rather than you coming to me. Okay, let's start with the questions. Can you please come up with live events in Chandigarh? You know, that's the cutest messages that I've been getting continuously since we did the Love Bubble in Chennai, with everyone saying, are you coming to Kashmir? Are you coming to Chandigarh? Are you coming to Bangalore? Are you coming to Hyderabad? Are you coming to Mumbai? Are you coming to Kolkata? Unfortunately not. I am coming straight to your homes. Can it be for men? Well, I am redesigning the course to make it offline, say online. So I may design it in a manner where you can sit as an individual who wants to attract a man. You can sit as an individual who wants to improve her marriage, or you can even sit as a couple. So I'm still working on that. I'll have a little more clarity by the end of this week as I'm redesigning some of the parts, because some of the parts could only take place in an offline event. So in an online event, it may not work, the same activity. So I anyway have to change some of those activities. Please include Delhi also. What I meant was that I won't be able to come to all the cities. Now they're like, please include Delhi also. I'm not coming to any of the cities. I'm coming directly to your homes through Zoom. Okay. Happy Isha Sacheva is saying, it was something you made my mind in such a positive way that my husband has told me you are completely changed and even positive and a magnetic woman. Wow. That is fabulous to hear. This is, I think, pretty much my first feedback from a husband after the course. So thank you so much, Isha. Just Smile Dental 14. Hi, my hubby tells all the negative things about me and hurts me, but at night he wants to hug me and love me. How do I deal with this? So I think the Love Bubble course will be the perfect course for you, and if you can also bring your husband, it will be fabulous, because I don't want to give you a one-line answer where I can give you a 2 days full of worth of material, correct? Having said that, I think husbands have to understand that without nurturing, so I remember I had gone to Goa and there was this, like a sex therapist there, and she spoke about how we are like fire and water. And so for a man, his needs are like fire, quickly up, quickly down. And a woman, the foreplay actually starts much, much before the bedroom. If you haven't looked after her needs the whole day, if you haven't heard out her emotions, if you haven't appreciated and validated all that she is feeling or expressing, then there's no way that she will be available to you in the evening. So if somebody wants to really get their woman to be with them, they have to learn the art and science of how to attract a woman. And I was watching Seema Anand, another beautiful teacher who talks a lot about the Kama Sutra and all of these things. And she said something so wonderful, that at one point, women used to go for Saras men. And what did she mean by Saras men was so interesting, that Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge. And she said knowledgeable men were the most attractive men because they bothered to find out how a woman needs to be pleased. And so Saras men were the men that we got attracted to, rather than the macho or the good looking or the solid, strong alpha male. No, the alpha male is all obsessed with himself, but a woman needs to be seen. And Saras men knew how to see women. So I think our men, unfortunately, some of our men have not gone through the training that every man should. As a mother, I think we should be training our sons to make sure that he knows how to see, or really see a woman beyond her looks, his ability to listen to her, his ability to have the knowledge on how to please her. Because while men are visual, so women work very hard on looking lovely, women are auditory, which means what men speak to us melts us. So a man has to learn to care through the choice of words that he uses for us to feel loved. So this is turning like into a mini love bubble here itself. Lovely. What pictures are behind you? This is my trip to Bhutan. I picked up all of these Thangka paintings. If you can see, I don't know if you can see them properly, but so loads of them. These are all different Buddhist gods and goddesses. Oh, I would have loved to have attended it live, but at least I'll get to be a part of it online for sure. Hi Pooja, I'm taking action to become a coach. I'm in a situation where I cannot tell anything about this to my partner, but I have to tell as I want, and I need money for the courses. How to handle it? Srujana is asking. So Srujana, the thing is, you have to look at where else can you get the money from. So if you're feeling like he may not be supportive of it, then is there any other way that you can organize the money? Do you have any excess jewelry lying around, or do you have any FD, or do you have any family relative who will be willing to lend you that money? Because a lot of times, sometimes our men are not ready to hear the truth, and they feel like, oh, ye ek aur cheez waste kar degi. And to convince them takes up so much of our energy. But however, if you do need to tell him, then seed the idea. And seeding basically just means that you start with a hard no, and when you get the hard no, guess what? Level 1 done. And then you move to slowly getting a yes eventually by your persistence. Just the way we give in to our children, sometimes when we see that they are really keen, I think it's a longer conversation. Don't expect it to happen immediately, but you can start it and eventually reach there. So those are, that's when you will have what I call divine delay, which means it will take you a while to get him to be convinced enough to pay for whatever it is you will want him to pay for. And during that period, please be very nice to him, because do not expect that you can be harsh and yet make him pay, because I think sometimes we get so upset that they're not agreeing that we tend to become, a little shut down. Sirat Sandhu Bajwa, how to raise high vibrational energy to live a beautiful life. Sirat, my suggestion would be a strong morning routine. So there is a lovely book called The Morning Miracle. I think so. That's what it's called. It's by Hal Elrod, and he speaks about this gorgeous acronym called SAVERS. Okay, so S stands for silence. So every morning spend a couple of minutes in silence. Just that silence will, start to, or our mind has so many thoughts that when we sit with ourselves in our silence, all of those projectors that continuously keep getting switched on because of the multitasking and all the multiple roles that we play start to get switched off, and our brain gets what we call rest. Otherwise, these days we are thinking resting is by being on social media. But how many of us know that actually social media is leaving your mind more exhausted and your body fresh? So there's a complete mismatch which causes more irritation and anxiety. True or not? So you want to become really mindful of at least 2 to 3 minutes of silence every morning, where you can just close your eyes and just reconnect and say good morning to this lovely soul that lives inside of you, and just acknowledge your spirit, right? So that's a lovely thing to do. A is for affirmations. It's the words that you use on a daily basis. So if you're someone who's very easily being critical, or you're very easily, complaining or blaming, just changing your vocabulary makes all the difference, So if you're someone who will say like, I'm so lazy, I'm so stupid, ayyo, maine aise kyun kiya, wo kar lena chahiye tha, and our mind just goes, into that panic mode, then one of the very good things to do is how you speak with yourself. I am amazing. I am wonderful. I am enjoying making food for my husband. I am loving waking up my children to send them to school. I am thrilled that I get to go to work today. I am excited about, coming back in the evening and spending quality time with my family. Now, what you're doing is, we have so many have-tos in our life that when we keep saying, I have to, the energy in our body becomes we have to numb ourselves from all of the pain that we experience in the have-tos. Instead, when we say, I choose to, or I get to, one of the things that starts to happen a lot more is that we start to get grateful for the exact thing that were using have to for. So, SAVERS is S for silence, A for affirmations, V for visualization, using the power of your imagination to bring into your subconscious world, or your mind, into your mind, all that you would like to come into your reality. Because once you have it in your mind, now it's the universe's job to turn it into a physical representation in your life. Okay? But your job is to be able to visualize it with all of your senses. Use all of your 5 senses to visualize whatever it is that you desire. E, SAVERS ka SAV, E stands for exercise. I don't need to give you any gyan on the number of benefits that exercise brings into our life, from our cardio to the kind of, hormones that get excreted. All of our happy hormones, get excreted. The sunlight becomes so wonderful when you go for a walk in the morning, because that gives you your vitamin D. It's also a power source. So all of that is fabulous. R is for reading something that is going to give you a positive outlook on life. So 2-3 pages of any motivational book. And then S is for scribing. Scribing basically means journaling. So just writing out your emotions, or paper dumping as I like to call it. Just 1 page every day. I'll just go, dear God, and just narrate everything that's happened with all of my emotions. And then you can either tear it, or you can keep it as a journal if you like. All of this gives you this ability to live a far more beautiful life, because now you're living your life from being conscious and aware, rather than just going through life without any thought to it. Yeah. Mentor Madhu, hi ma'am, the other day you were speaking about hot flushes. I'm a victim of this. Can you please give a solution to it? I don't have a solution, sweetheart, but normally hot flushes come when we are closer in age to our menopause. So what I'd love for you to do is read a few books on menopause. I can't remember the name, but I remember a friend of mine had suggested this fabulous book on menopause. I'll see if I can find the name and I'll share it in my stories. But it's just, we as women don't have enough information on what our bodies go through our pregnancies, what our bodies go through postpartum after that, what our bodies go through when we are going through menopause, and the unawareness of all of this information drives us crazy. So as women, it's our job to educate ourselves in hormonal intelligence, right? Life Coach Khushbu, ma'am, for CC people, the event was free. This is what you said when we were joining the coaching certification. Yes, for CC people, Love Bubble is definitely free. I don't know, Khushbu, what you're asking, but did you land up paying for it? Please check with Radhika, because Love Bubble was free for everyone who came for graduation. So whether you came from CC or you came from GBDE or you came from SS, I haven't charged anybody for Love Bubble if you were in the graduation sheriff ceremony on the 26th. And in case by any chance you have gotten charged, please ask for a refund. I will refund you right away. Wardrobe essentials. I'm dating a guy from another religion, but my family is not agreeing to. The guy is amazing but not rich, and the Guruji I went to and the palmist said it's not a good option. I will not be happy. So I want you to understand one thing. Any palmist, any Guruji, any prediction is made on whatever little understanding they have on the personality you have right now. But we as human beings have been given something that God gave us there. No prediction can work beyond it, which is the power of choice. Okay, so once you understand that we have the will, God also decided that I don't want a predestined journey for humans. For animals, I will keep predestined journey. A lion will be born wherever it will be born, it will die there only, and it will eat what I ask it to eat, and it will reproduce exactly the way I want it to. Trees and animals, everybody have a predestined destiny. And then he said, okay, let's try and experiment with the human. And the human experiment was all supposed to be around the choices we make will decide our destiny. The vibration we keep ourselves will decide our luck. So if you want to get lucky, my sweetheart, start to vibrate at a higher level by becoming more and more positive in your personality. And if you land up making hard choices, then learning to face the consequences and tweaking whatever needs tweaking for you to be able to make it work, because it's never the decision that is right or wrong. It's always what we do after the decision is what makes the decision right or wrong. Did you get what I just said? It's not the decision that is right or wrong. Should I be an engineer, or should I be a doctor, or should I be a lawyer, or should I be... You can be any of those and more. But the one that you choose, what you do after that is what's going to decide your life. Now, once you marry this guy, what do you do about it? I remember I had this amazing friend who was in Chennai, where the Panditji predicted that the husband will die within a month of marriage. So the parents got really scared, and even though theirs was not an inter-religion marriage, it was a North Indian marrying a South Indian, but the parents were like, nothing doing under any circumstances. So eventually they informed the parents, went to the temple, got married, and now she's been married for over... I'm guessing she should be almost hitting her 20th year, between 15 to 20 years. He's hale and hearty, she's hale and hearty. She shares the most beautiful relationship with her mother-in-law. Everything worked out exactly how she wanted it to be. So it was nothing to do with the predictions and all of that. So I don't want you to get worried at all, because you're far above the predictions. These predictions are great at 20% level. Yes, if I wear a crystal, will I get a little more luckier? Maybe. Maybe if the door of my house is opening in east side instead of the north side or instead of the south side, maybe it'll work a little better for me. But all of this has to be looked at as 20% of your life. 80% of your life gets decided by the person that you are becoming. And as you keep evolving, you will become more and more stronger as the creator of your destiny. Okay, now your parents not agreeing right now is only because we all, anything that is unfamiliar to us is scary to us. So because of the unfamiliarity, your parents genuinely are just concerned that, I hope it doesn't land up becoming a mistake because you did not grow up in the culture that you might be landing up going into. Having said that, my husband's brother has married a Christian girl. And can I tell you, she's the favorite of the house. Today, everyone loves her. Whatever inhibitions that anybody had regarding the two religions coming together completely changed, and she makes that extra effort to participate in all of our cultural things, and we love celebrating Christmas with her. So it's just so fabulous the way she's fit in and the extra effort. Again, what has happened is they made the decision and then she made the decision right. So I have a most fabulous Christian sister-in-law. I have another fabulous Muslim sister-in-law. Puneet's Mamaji's son has married a Muslim girl. And I can tell you that these sister-in-laws are so amazing that to me now this criteria doesn't even exist. But when they were getting married, were there these apprehensions? Of course they were there. Okay, I don't think we've yet reached a place where these apprehensions, that I won't have them, maybe my generation won't have them, but I'm pretty sure my parents' generation did have them, and for a good reason. We know why, right? Now, slowly and steadily, the world is becoming a lot more cosmopolitan, isn't it? And now it's starting to feel like, yes, we can do all of this. It's not like we couldn't do it earlier. Of course, there are a lot of intercaste marriages earlier also, but the apprehensions used to be far greater. And now I think that, you're going to have to make up your mind. Do you love him more, or do you lack courage in fighting the fight? Because once the person is amazing, then it's worth it, isn't it? So you just have to first make sure the person is amazing. Okay, whether he's rich or not, whether Guruji is saying something, the palmist is saying something, I'm not a believer of. I'm a believer of, when I make a decision, I make it right. Now leave it up to me. Okay, so that's the most important part. How to attend your online courses? Sharmila, there will be a phone number put under this video. So you are more than welcome to call up Gunjan, and she will be able to guide you through how to join my online courses. Life Coach Pallavi, we took blessings of your dad puja in the Love Bubble event after you left. It was so amazing meeting and interacting with your dad. Oh, how sweet. Thank you, Life Coach Pallavi. That's too sweet of you. Team Life by Design, can you take a picture of this message? I would love to share it with my dad. So sweet. What does Saubana mean? Saubana is an African proverb that basically means I see you. So beyond saying hello, namaste is also in a way that my divine says, hello to your divine. The same way the African proverb Saubana is basically I see you. So anytime you say Saubana to someone, you make that extra effort to see them in their entirety, in their soul level. I'm seeing everyone wearing blue these days, latest color it seems. Is that so? Love Bubble is moving online, yes. Thrive with MK. Hi, I'm a life coach as well and looking forward to learning from you. Let me be in the video and we would be answering for all the questions. This is my tribe and I'm very possessive about them. Maybe you can write to me and we can see how you and I can work together. Uma Basu, I'm absolutely sure about online program will rock soon, eagerly waiting. Oh, thank you, darling. I was simply amazed by all of the interactive games that you had in the Love Bubble program. Thank you, Vivek Basanta. Leena Shashi, Pooja, I finally have told my husband what I was doing all of these months. And remember, I told you that he doesn't know. Yes, of course. And I'm so proud of you, Leena Shashi, for the way you have operated and gotten your husband to go from a hard no to a complete yes. Sonika Khubchandani, I have started my yoga teaching, but my family, especially my parents, are not too happy with my decision and have tried to stop me. They feel that it's below our family standards and are giving me the cold vibes. Sonika, there's a certain age till when we should listen to our parents, and then there's a certain age where we have to start to break away from their concepts and create our life. Now, if we make a success of it, can I tell you, they will come back super proud, and the same parents who put you down or did not support you or did not believe in you will be saying, Meri beti. And so please know that, when I started doing this work, life coaching in India did not exist in 2010. Like when I used to tell my husband, mother-in-law, parents that I will get paid for speaking, they used to be like, seriously? Like there are going to be people who are going to pay you for speaking to them? Like it was such an unheard of concept, right? So I feel like, I just had to believe in myself in the beginning long enough till things started to happen. And I think it's so unfair for us to expect that people should know or understand our purpose before they even understand what our purpose is. So nobody understanding your purpose is your jet fuel. The fact that nobody understands it is that negative fuel that you will take now and turbocharge your life towards whatever it is, the choices that you make, and make such a massive success of yourself in whatever industry you choose, that these same people one day come around and say, oh, मुझे तो पता था, हमेशा से ही पता था कि तू तो कुछ बनेगी. Okay, so that's your sweet revenge, मेरी जान. Abhini Sali, Pooja, how to deal with close relatives who always show off about money that they have and put us down? I think you should join them in their show off. So what do I mean by that? Give them the platform to be able to show off. Till the time we keep on having a negative thought against the person, whatever they are doing, it will irritate us and annoy us. Correct? Now, what if you join them? What if they say, oh, look, I brought my new Mercedes to your house. So you go, oh my God, this is fabulous, amazing. And you join them. Till the time you resist them, they will keep on annoying you. The day you join them, after that they have no second sentence to say. Kitna keh lenge koi bhi, So I remember there's this beautiful girl who had come to our house, and someone very close to me just couldn't stop praising her. And in the beginning, for 5 minutes, I was just like, okay, bahut zyada ho gaya, but annoying. But then after that, I said, you know what? Why am I resisting it? What's creating this jealousy in me? Can I deal with this jealousy? Of course I can deal with this jealousy. And I said, yeah, actually she looks gorgeous. And when I joined in, I suddenly now wasn't against the viewpoint. Rather, I was along with the viewpoint. So I didn't need to be irritated because what they were saying was not wrong. What they're showing off about is true. You're feeling it is like they're putting you down because you are doing a versus. My suggestion is join them. The minute you will join them, you will stop feeling all of this resistance. Know that you have your own good things, they have money. You may have education, you may have culture, you may have values, you may have compassion, you may have kindness. Give them this gift that yes, money is for you to show off. I'll show off about my kindness. I'll show off about my personality. I'll show off, I remember when that beautiful girl had come to our house, all she had was beauty. So then I realized, let me praise her beauty, but let me also own what I have in my heart. And so that, while I'm amazed with her beauty, I'm super proud of my personality. And then I did not have that same jealous reaction that I was having when she entered. Are you understanding what I'm trying to tell you here? See if you can work with this. Oh, so sweet. Sunali, how to get rid of the ego? It doesn't allow me to understand my grandmother-in-law and I react in a very irritated and angry way. I want to get rid of this ego. Sunali, the more you grow in spirituality, automatically the lesser you'll be attached to your ego. So don't try to squash your ego as ego, because ego does not get squashed when you directly deal with it. You have to become someone else for you to be able to deal with your ego. So what you need to do is grow yourself spiritually, which means the more you realize that nothing in this world is done by us. Nothing. None of the results are coming because of us. A doctor is performing a surgery. Can the patient die? Can the patient survive? Can it all go right? Can something go wrong without the doctor doing anything wrong still? So everything, the more we pass on the credit to the universal energy of the world, the lesser our ego will become. Okay, so the more you will start to follow this with your grandmother-in-law, where you start to go, you know what, God created her, and my creation, in criticizing the creation, I'm criticizing the creator. So when I criticize my grandmother-in-law, I'm actually criticizing my creator. What if she is my test for God to check how much I love God? What if you had to spin a completely new story? And what if you as a soul in heaven chose patience as the virtue you wanted to learn on earth? And your grandmother-in-law has done PhD in driving you crazy, and she is the reason because of which you will learn the art of patience. Now this lady is not any longer a dream stealer or a person who needs to be hated, but a disguised angel of your life. And the day you can see her face and you can see a halo around her face, because her job was to drive you crazy so that you could build patience. Now, as you build patience, you need to start to thank her instead of hate her. True or not? So see if you can create a new story of some kind where, one, you start to honor the spirit inside of her, which always our spirit carries the divine. The divine lives where? Inside. So when you don't honor her divine, there's no way she can honor yours. Anytime you're feeling like you want someone's respect or you want someone to notice you, just start to honor the divine inside of them. Not them, maybe their outside facade doesn't deserve your respect, but every soul deserves your respect. And when you have the mindset that, okay, whatever their experiences created their personality, and I don't like this person's personality, thumbs up to that. You are allowed to not like people's personality. You're not allowed to not like their soul. Underneath all of that, had they not had the experiences they went through, there is a wounded soul. There's a 5-year-old child stuck in the body of a 50-year-old, and that grandmother-in-law who did not get anything, she's only given, and she got so juiced out that she has become what we call that kadwa nimbu. You know what is kadwa nimbu? It is basically when you squeeze something till the end, no? Then instead of being khatta and tasty, it becomes kadwa and yucky. So that's what she is right now, a kadwa nimbu. Now that you understand her, now that you understand her job is to teach you patience, now that you understand that the spirit and the soul must be respected, see if you can create a complete new story around all of this to be able to, the day we can start to honor the people we dislike, that's a simple and one of the best tests of that you have evolved as a person. Because unevolved people live in criticism and victimhood. Poor me, why does she do this to me only? That's victimhood, and manifestors of the world will never live in that energy. They are always in the energy of gratitude no matter what. So they build artificial stories to be able to stay in gratitude. So for me, from me to you, a beautiful artificial story is she's come down on earth to teach you patience. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but you use it like that and trust me, all of your irritation will go away and you will start to play games with her. So today, patience test was 4 on 10. Tomorrow, patience test, you passed with 6 on 10. Next day, patience test, you passed with 10 on 10. Then for a whole week, you got 10 on 10, 10 on 10, 10 on 10. Now suddenly she does not have the remote control of your emotions in her hand. You have taken that remote control back. How fabulous will that be? True people stories. Pooja ma'am, I have a 4-year-old son struggling to do my life coaching and my online courses due to the multiple responsibilities. How should I look at it? So I don't know if you know this, but I have a tortoise always sitting on my desk. And the reason I have this tortoise is that anytime I start to get overwhelmed with all that I want to achieve, I look at that tortoise and I go, you know what, I'm going to do this at my own speed. And sometimes what really creates stress is not what we need to do, but the artificial deadlines that we have put on them. So I would love for you to start to re-examine and look at that this tortoise you could have totally, you can totally turn it into a rabbit. But guess what? The back of a tortoise, you know how heavy it is? Because it carries the weight of its entire family members. Okay? A rabbit does not carry any weight. So while it will become more successful far faster, that success actually, if you examine closely, is what I call empty victory. When you have no one to celebrate your success with, that success has no meaning, Meri Jaan. True or not? So the fact that you are going to go rengte, like my mother likes to call my success, मैं बहुत धीरे, I'm worse than a tortoise. I think sometimes I'm a sloth bear or the slowest animal on the planet, whichever one it is, because I'm in no hurry to reach anywhere. The most important thing I have to do is beyond the destination, I must enjoy the journey, and beyond the journey, I must enjoy the company that I'm carrying on this journey. Okay, and I want you to do the same. This time of your child is not going to come back. I wish somebody had shaken me up when my children were small and told me this. Today they are 20 and 24. Can I tell you, the best period of the children's life is already gone. Now we meet what? Once every 3 months for 1 week. Okay, that means what? 4 weeks a year. That means what? 1 month a year is all I get of my children. There used to be a time where, so they say that under the age of 10 is when you spend 90% of your child's time with them. And the minute they turn 10, now they are more school, more friends, more tuitions, more classes than ever you're going to get their time. And with every year crossing, by the time they turn 20, now you're going to get them 1 month a year. Okay? Even if they live with you, you won't see them. You are going to have to knock on the door and say, बेटा 5 मिनट के बाहर आ जाओ. अभी तो वो आपसे चिपक रहे हैं. जब वो चिपक रहे हैं, आप वापस चिपको. So that कि जब वो बड़े होंगे, वो चिपकेंगे. If you have chipkofied yourself from 1 to 10, they will chipko to you from 10 to 100. But if you neglected them 1 to 10, guess what? The rest of your life, you will only be chasing. Nazia, you're always so inspiring. Whenever I feel down in my life, I watch your videos. That's too sweet. I don't know what you're trying to say. Sand Beautiful Soul. My husband's songs on and off. How can I get rid of this? It really breaks me down. I don't know. The word songs feels like a misspelling. What was the V for in Savers? Oh. S for silence, A for affirmation, V for visualization, E for exercise, R for reading, and S for scribing. You can just Google this, Savers, Hal Elrod, पूरी list आ जाएगी. Vandana Kakkar, I am obese, 147 kilos. I am working on my health, but it's not working. I was working before, but I've left the job due to health. Now money has also become an issue. Please help how to solve the situation. Vandana, you need professional help. 147 kilos is not अपने बस की बात. Okay, now there must be some health issue, some food issue, some emotional issue. I don't know what the issue is, but anytime we are lopsided in one side of our intellect, it is because the other 3 sides also must be having some problem. So we have emotional intellect, physical intellect, spiritual intellect. So all of the intellects need to come back into balance. So I don't know which intellect is basically making your other intellects go wrong. So you have to start to look at it by getting help professionally. Do not try to do this yourself. Go to a health farm. Look at how you can get somebody to guide you. Maybe you will need a life coach and a health coach. Both may be required. So don't do it yourself is my suggestion. Okay, and if you don't handle one, the other starts to go down, then 2 will go down, the 3rd one will start to go down. So it's a downward spiral, Meri Jaan. So quickly get help as soon as you can. Okay. Okay, let me go right to the bottom. Happy birthday, Mansi. That's so lovely. It's her birthday today. Anita Gupta, how do you keep your energy with so many events, travel and work? So Anita, the events, travel and work's job is for me to keep on balancing my energy. So from the events, I will go straight into travel because now I need the balancing. I have overdone work, so I need to overdo some holiday. So I will keep on balancing in that manner. Things that give me joy, I have a full list of, and things that in my masculine energy that I want to achieve, I have a full list of. Every time I achieve, I reward myself from the joy list. So let's say I want to make dash amount of impact on dash amount of people this month. If I hit my numbers, if I hit my whatever I had set out to do, then I will say, okay, fine. If I hit these numbers, then I'm going to go on a holiday to dash place. If I go beyond target, I will upgrade myself to a suite. If I do like this, I will do like that. If I do like this, and I make life so fun, like a game, so that I don't lose my energy. Now, having said that, are there difficult days? Of course, there are difficult days, and that's why it's so important for me that whenever I'm working super hard, I know exactly what my reward is going to be for this work, so that when it starts to get hard, I can focus on the reward at the end of the tunnel, which is the hope at the end of the tunnel, rather than get, sucked into the darkness of the tunnel when I'm in it. So I'm going to ask you also, what are the things that truly give you joy, and start to bring them a lot more into your life? Has Wednesdays shifted to Tuesdays? No, only today because I'm traveling. I'm going to be in an aeroplane tomorrow at this time. So that's why I didn't want to miss a Wednesday live. So I said I'll just do it a day prior. Surbhi Parkhi, I want to marry a good-looking, well-settled guy. How to attract? Oh, please come for Love Bubble. Let me help you change your vibration. I go through the 10 steps of how to become a magnetic woman. Okay? And once you understand how to be a magnetic woman, you will see it's not about finding the right partner. It is all about becoming the right partner. And the day you become the right partner, you see how fast line lagni chahiye ghar ke bahar. Anjana Verma, Pooja, how do you handle your mood swings during your champs? I'm guessing must be periods. So Anjana, for me, actually, honestly speaking, 2-3 days before Seyo itself, I start to get very cranky. So the one thing I do is I acknowledge that this is not anything I need to intellectualize. I'm going through an hormonal PMS or whatever it is that you want to call it, right? So firstly, just owning the fact that I'm PMSing helps me handle it to quite an extent. So see if you can start to own it. A lot of times we don't come to know, and then we blame someone and we fight it out and we cry, and later on we are like, oh my God, it wasn't him, it was my PMS. So it's best to know your dates, remain aware when are you PMSing and become aware. 1. 2, those are your days to go into hibernation. So I call 3 days before my periods the winter of my month. So month is a cyclical. So women live in cycles. We live in a cyclical journey. And 1 week before, for a lot of people 1 week, for me it's 3 days. So 3 days before my periods, I start to take a step back from work also, and from too much of emotional conversation. And I warn the people around me that, you know what, I'm PMSing, so don't take panga because I'll blame you because I want to cry. because I get cranky. And then what I do is I spend a lot of time with myself those 3 days, reading books, absorbing nice stuff on YouTube, spending time with nature. Those are my rest days. So I like to divide my life into 3 parts, which I call the prep days, the delivery days, and the rest days. Now I have prep days, delivery days, rest days in a month also, in a week also, and in a day also. I divide my day also like that. So when I wake up at 4 o'clock, 4 to 8 is prep time. Then I go for my exercise, I do my swim, I get ready. By 10 o'clock, I'm ready for the day for deliveries. And then by 5:30, I like to close my deliveries and move into rest. Rest is everything called guilty pleasure. So everything, if I want to watch Netflix or if I want to spend time drinking coffee with friends, anything. Guilty pleasure means going shopping. That's my time to now recuperate from all that I've given in the day. Okay, so my mood swings handling is one, by making everyone around me aware. Another is by knowing that I'm feeling cranky and why. And I think for me, drinking a lot of anything hot. So right now I'm having chamomile tea, sometimes it will be green tea, sometimes it will be some kind of detox something, jeera pani. These things help, soft pani, what's the third one? Ajwain pani. These are very good, yeah. They really help. I don't know, just try them out. Some people like to do the soft jeera ajwain in one shot. I do them separately. But you can try to do all of these things, because all of these ghar ke nuske, if you ask your dadi or nani or someone, they'll tell you ki ye sare, they really work very well. Okay? I want to be a communication coach. Can you please help me? Please call Gunjan and come for my coaching mastery program that's happening on the 25th and 26th of May. So if you are available, it's 2 full days where I teach the business of coaching. So any kind of coach that you want to become, first understand what does it take in the world to make money as a coach. The more understanding you will have around your impact, around your income, and around your influence as a coach, then you can decide to be whichever coach you like and delve deeper. But first get the business of coaching right, because I know too many good coaches without clients. And I think the biggest disservice we are doing right now is to have so much knowledge and not know how to share it with others. Because remember, best known will always trump best. What does that mean? McDonald's burger is not the best burger, but it is the most selling burger because it's the best known burger. The best burger may be a beautiful restaurant just down the road, hole in the wall. And you know what? Nobody will ever know about that burger because they haven't spent any time learning the marketing side of their business. So an average product with excellent marketing, or above average product, I wouldn't say average, but a 70% product with 100% marketing versus a 100% product with 50% marketing, make better choices. So 2 full days I need of yours to give you the complete picture on how to be a fabulous coach, and how to be a fabulous coach and be rich, most importantly. Eternally Yours is saying, ma'am, soon I will be entering in my 30s and I'm feeling very anxious about getting older for the first time. How to take this gracefully? So Eternally Yours, it's all about the stories that you tell yourself, darling. Now, if you have started to tell yourself, so this is what I think, okay? So up till the age of 20, society has designed the child's life. I don't know if it's wonderfully, but it is already pre-designed. 20 to 30 is the first time you have the freedom to explore the world. So I tell my children, because they are between this age now, 20 to 30, that go and experiment and experience as many different experiences as you can. You know, learn different things. Just be what I call the explorer of life. Explore a lot. By 30, you have explored now. Now you need to start to look at what am I willing to spend the next 5 years specializing so that I can become the best in the world or in my industry in it. So 30 to 35 is all about focus. From an explorer, you need to shift your energy to now focusing and really building whatever it is that you enjoy doing, your skill sets, your business, your whatever it is that you love doing. Okay, so now it is 5 years of focus. Then from 35 to 40, and of course I'm just generalizing this whole thing. You can follow whatever, and if it is 10 years later also, it doesn't matter, but I'm just giving you a general thing. 35 to 40 is your job to start to then make money from it. 30 to 35, you will be setting yourself up, you will be putting money in. 35 to 40, you need to start to now take money out. You need to start to create profit. You need to start to expand whatever it is that you've built. So I remember I used to have a friend called CKK. I have a friend called CKK. He runs the Naturals Parlors in Saloon. He runs the natural saloons in Chennai. Okay. And amazing guy. I mean, business sense is something else only. The way he's built his franchisee business, I've not seen anyone else built it in that manner. So he's just brilliant. And he said something really smart, or really something that stayed with me, and which was that, you know, it took him 6 years to build his first 6 saloons. And then in the following 6 years, he built 500. It took him 6 years. From 30 to 35, he built only 6 saloons in 6 years. And then from 35 to 40, he built 600 saloons. Oh my God. Can you see the power of when you have that focus energy and then when you start to build? And then he put everything on automation. So from 40 to 50 or 40 to 45, now you start to automate, which means your intelligence should not be the only intelligence in your world, in your life. Now you need to start to bring in more intelligent people than you also to come in and take over for your systems and strategies to get set, so that by 45 all you do is mentoring. Okay, now this could be, I've given you a direction. Now when you know this direction, now what will start to happen? When you're going to get closer to 30, you should be more excited about life, because you're going to be more intelligent, more skill set, more successful, more money, better life. If you know your life is getting better at 30, then you will not be sad about 20 to 30. You will be excited about the 30 to 40. But if you don't have anything to be excited about, then you're not going to be happy. And the way aging has been built in this world, the more older you get, the worse it is becoming. It is the saddest perception that we have created in this world. I wish we had built that the further you live, the more respect or the more gratitude you have to have for God, because guess what? Not everybody gets to be 30. Not everybody gets to be 40. Not everybody gets to be 50. Very few people get to be 60. Very, very few people get to be 70. And very, very, very few people get to be 80, right? And so in a world, why aren't we competing to live longer rather than looking younger? Look at it's a wrong competition. I wish we could compete on living longer, healthier way than looking younger. Our biggest problem is we've made looks too important, and the only thing you lose is looks. Everything else you can actually gain. You can gain in health if you work hard on your health. You can gain in finance if you work hard on your finance. You can gain in relationships if you work hard on in everything else you gain. The only thing that the price you have to pay for old age is the wrinkles that come. And today, thanks to Botox and fillers, even that's not coming. But my suggestion to my tribe is always, let's all age gracefully. Let's age in a manner that we are proud of our wrinkles and our dark spots and our whatever else that is going to come on our face. I use filters, so you can't see any of mine. But if you meet me in real, which some of you did, you will very well know that there is no skin that doesn't have pores. These are all filters that remove all of our pores and make us look porcelain glass skin, but that doesn't exist in reality, right? And so I really hope that while makeup and filters I will use, hopefully by the grace of God, nothing artificial. Hai na? Nagalakshmi, ma'am, do you believe in our forefathers' karma coming to us? If they killed snakes, do you believe that we will be affected? Nagalakshmi, anything that creates fear in my personality, coming from the realm of the universe that nobody really knows how to interpret for sure, I will not fear any fear. So let's say a Pandit ji tells me, oh, आपके तो karma बहुत खराब है, आपके ancestors को ठीक से खाना नहीं खिलाया श्राद्ध में, अब वो गुस्सा होके बैठ गए हैं, और क्योंकि वो गुस्सा होके बैठ गए हैं इसलिए वो, and somebody tells me all of this, I will just say bullshit. Okay, let me show you what my luck is, because I create my own luck. Having said that, did I tell you that 20% of all of this I like to believe? So 20% के extent तक, if there is something somebody tells me कि यार तुम ये temple चले जाओ और तुम्हारा सारा दोष उतर जाएगा, मैं चली जाऊंगी. But not with the aspiration कि मेरी life will not work out अगर मैं उस temple नहीं गई. I'm not going to let any fear ever be greater than my individual will to make my life work. Because जिसके साथ भगवान है उसके against कोई नहीं हो सकता. True or not? You know, there is a scene in Mahabharata where Duryodhana goes up to his father Dhritarashtra, who's blind, and he says, Father, I can't, I can't wait to tell you the best news. And he says, yes, tell me, beta, what is the best news? And to that he says, I got a choice to choose the entire army of 100,000 elephants and, warriors and people and horses and artillery and equipment and all of that, versus they kept one Krishna. So I could choose one Krishna or the entire army. Guess what I got? I got the whole army. And at that moment, Dhritarashtra had one tear flowing down his cheek. Because one of the things he didn't, of course you've understood what I'm trying to tell you here, right? Now this is what I want you to understand, Nagalakshmi. Whoever is giving you these theories that your forefathers have killed snakes and because of this karmically, if you have to do one puja for it, or if you have to go to one temple for it to clear it, clear it. There's no harm in clearing it, because it'll get out of your belief system. But if anybody starts to play with this fear of yours and starts to take you on a ride, okay, नहीं ये तो दोष, अब आपको 20,000 खर्च के तो यज्ञ करना पड़ेगा and पंडितों को खिलाना पड़ेगा और ये करना पड़ेगा और वो करना पड़ेगा, and you start to realize that they are, playing with your fear and extracting things out of you that you normally wouldn't give. How many women in India get physically, or sexually abused by all of these Panditjis and Gurujis because they build so much fear, and then they put you on a test, and because you've gone all the way so far with them, now they will say, okay, one last thing, if you do, I can cure you, if you touch me or if they touch you or whatever. And all of this junk lives in this area of fear. So I want you to be so careful of all of this that gets built up. There was a complete science to all of the knowledge and wisdom of our ancestors. But unfortunately,